Flosstube. My name is Dawn Marie, and this is my channel, DM's Crafty Vortex. This is my channel all about cross stitch, and it has been a while since I've been back for a regular video. I've done a couple of unboxings, which I know a lot of people don't watch, but it's been a while since I've been back. So if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and watching me after all this time. If you are new to the channel, I am primarily a full coverage cross stitcher, and I tend to record more in the summer than the winter. I have a job, I work for an oil company, so winter we're really busy. We work 6 days a week, and I don't get much stitchy time in, but the weather's starting to warm up, things are starting to slow down, and I'm hoping I will be back a little more often. The only thing that could stop that is I have really gotten into some monogamous stitching. I know you see a few bags over here, but I have quite a few things to show, just not much progress on most of them. And I have quite a few things to show just because it's simply been so long since I've been back. I think I'm gonna go right into the stitching, and then I've got life updates at the end for anyone who wants to see those, but we'll get the stitching over and done with. Like I said, there's not a ton of stitching. I don't have a ton of time to stitch in the winter, but I'm starting to get a little bit more into the stitching now that the weather's warmer. I don't work as many hours. I don't have as much stitching as I used to have because I have been putting my health first. So that's taken a little bit of my stitchy time, but again, that'll be it. Life updates at the end. So let's get started with Sunset at Hogsmeade. And I am not going to tell you who designed it. I will show you, but there is absolutely no way I can pronounce this. Artwork is by Leonardo AI, but the designer is right here. So this is Sunset at Hogsmeade, and I have 6,305 stitches done on this. Out of 375,000 stitches, I'm at 1.68% complete, and I've done 381 stitches. Oh, today is Mother's Day in the US. It's Sunday, the 11th of May, so happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, whether it's little kids running around, adult kids running around, or little fur babies. Happy Mother's Day. So this is what it looked like last time you saw it. And this is what it looks like now. So again, not much, just 381 stitches. But a little bit, or I'm still just trying to see if I actually like this roof line before I keep going. Just, I don't know if you can see how dark that is right there. I mean, obviously it's the shadow of the roof line. There's a lot more detail in the picture than on the stitching, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna see how it goes. This is stitched on 25 count easy grid. So, have fun.
Thank you,
Love you. My husband's going golfing. Golfing. If you wanna see the shirt. I will go golfing with them eventually, but I am a fair weather golfer, and we live in Maine, and it is May, so I need at least 3 or 4 more weeks before I hit the golf course. I do not want to be the least bit cold on the golf course. Okay. That's Sunset at Hogsmeade. I'm sorry, I thought I turned off notifications, and that's gonna stay right on my screen and bother me. Next up is Dumbledore's library, and I only worked on this a little bit. I went to a stitch retreat a couple of weekends ago, I think it was now, the library stitches. So I thought, if I'm going to the library stitch retreat, I should bring a library to stitch on. It was a really fun retreat. I'm not going to do a recap video on it. I only was able to go for 1 out of the 2 days. I'll talk about that at the end, but if you want to see a really good recap video, go to Helen D. She talks all about it. But this is Dumbledore's library. This is a big one. And this is by the Cross Stitch Studio, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio, and I don't see a designer on this. Leanne from Small Town Stitches is stitching Stapes Library, which is amazing also. Sometimes I wish I did that one, but I like all that's going on in this one. I started this one back on January 9th. It's on 25 count easy grid. I am at 2,042 stitches out of 640,000 stitches. I'm at only 0.32% complete, but I did do 807 stitches while I was at the retreat. And you're gonna see what it looked like last time I worked on it. And, buried in my bag, sorry. And this is where it is at now. So I finished a diagonal, I started another diagonal. I think that's looking pretty good. Oh, I'm gonna put it over here so that I can put up a side by side. I also bought these two needle minders while I was at the retreat. I thought they both have books on them, and one of them's a needle threader. So how cute is that? And I think it was the New England Stitcher who I bought them from. But so yes. So there's a little bit more going on than just the Doc 939. Again, if I didn't say it, 25 count easy grid, it's going to be huge if you see all that extra fabric. And then the last thing that I worked on that wasn't a new start, everything else is new starts. I shouldn't be doing new starts when I'm not stitching, but I did. But the last thing that wasn't a new start was my Shimmering Witch. And I've had a lot of fun working on this one. And this is charted, it's designed by Arcane Splendor. And it's charted by Stitches So Beautiful. And isn't that just beautiful? And I'm up here in this corner, but I am loving working on this. I can't wait to get down into that head, but that's gonna be quite a while now. But I really enjoy Stitches So Beautiful because like this is a 400 by 400. So they're doable. Like I could actually see myself finishing this in my lifetime. A lot of my hay charts, I'm stitching on them because I enjoy them, but I don't know if I'll actually ever finish them. But I really enjoy this. And also if you go to the Stitches So Beautiful Facebook group, they do monthly where if you're stitching on one of her patterns and you show pictures once a week, you have to do a minimum of I think 200 stitches over the course of the week, but you show your updates every week. And at the end of the month, you get a free pattern. And you do know what the free pattern is in advance to decide if you want to do it. I do have one of the free patterns here that I'll be showing you. So I think, yeah, I gave you the statistics, I think. I did 2,055 stitches since the last time I saw you for a total of 6,682 stitches out of 160,000. And I'm at 4.18%. Yep, 4.18% complete. And again, this is what it looked like last time you saw it. And this is what it looks like now. So I was doing my diagonal, but when I got into the star, I just needed to keep going and I needed to get that done. And then I'm building my diagonal back up again. I don't stick strictly to the diagonal. I do feather out. I don't want to get any harsh lines, but that is where I'm at on this one. And I just love this one. I can't wait to see how much progress I can get when I get back to stitching on it. So when I'm not monogamous stitching, this is my go-to next project to work on. So then Lacey and Leanne both had birthdays in March. This is how long it's been since I've recorded. And I think Lacey's was the 15th and Leanne's was the 16th. And then my birthday's in April, so we kind of did some birthday stats. But they shared a birthday stat that was to start something colorful. And at this point, I had become obsessed with the Waterbiz site. And if you watched my unboxings, you know what Waterbiz is. And if you haven't, it is a stamped cross-stitch site. I've always wanted to try some stamped cross-stitch, but I didn't want to go to the cross-stitch companies that were out there because there was just so much copyright infringement, and I didn't want to give money to a company that stole a patent from somebody else. So Sandy at Waterbiz designs all her cross-stitches herself. They are AI. So if you don't like AI, I don't have to tell you, it doesn't really bother me to get an AI design. I get designs from all over the places, and I'd rather get that than something that's a straight copyright. So I tried hers, and I've gotten a few of them, but I decided to start this because it was so colorful. And I'm sorry for the crinkling now, but these are all in bags that come, and I keep them in the bags because if you get water on a stamped cross stitch, you can just kind of kiss that pattern goodbye. One of the things I love about Sandy's site is that, because typically stamped cross stitch is done in 11 count because it's stamped and you need to be able to see the design. I'm definitely not an 11 count stitcher. I stitch on 25 count. So I do 16 count, which does make the squares really tiny. And while a pattern does come with it, she will, if you ask, send you the PDF, which I had put right into Markup XP. So I love the fact that I can do that with her. She doesn't charge you any extra for that service, which you don't get any place else that I'm aware of. So now, I did not get much done on this one. It was a start for Lacey Leanne's birthday. The only thing was, we were supposed to start it because it's so colorful. So again, this was started as a colorful cross stitch. The problem is I wanted to see how the face looks. So I started in on the face. So you can see I did the only not colorful section on the entire chart. So this is, I don't know if you can see her chin, her eyes, and I started on her face. So if you can't see, I would try to show you the back, but again, because I just did skin tones, you're still not really gonna see what I worked on. But I had fun with that for Lacey and Leanne's birthday. I don't have a stitch count on this because I haven't actually put this one in Markup XP yet, because when I started this, I didn't realize we could do that at the time. So I just kind of photocopied the pattern that came with it. And I only look at the pattern every once in a great while. Definitely not something you have to look at. You can just go to town on it for a while. Hello, good. And this is a new addition to our family. This is my stepson Owen's kitten Romo. So this is my grandson. Can you say hi, Romo? Say hi. He is a ragdoll, and he is a little terror, and we love every second of it. Not used to cats that actually let you hold them. Doesn't absolutely love being held, but he doesn't try to jump down. All right, go see your daddy. Thank you. Okay, it's hard to get back to cross stitch after holding that fluffy little thing. I got to babysit yesterday for a little while, so. Okay, now I got cat fluff. Let's see, go, 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 go. Now my dog's in here thinking it's playtime. Nope, go, go, go. Okay, so then, and again, I say and then, this is in no particular order. It's been so long, I do not remember the order I stitched any of this in. But Ashley from Boogie Stitches started a Etsy shop where she's designing cross stitch, and she's, it's counted cross stitch. However, she'll also, you can also just buy the picture, or she'll send you the image so that you can send it away and get a counted, a stamped cross stitch if you want, because Ashley is primarily a stamped stitcher. And she gave me this beautiful pattern. So it's the Boogie Stitcher. Go over to Etsy. And she gave me this. And oh my gosh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I did something so far out of my comfort zone. Never done this before. Now I am only up here in this little teeny section. You really can't even see the design on here. I did, if you look at Catherine Stitches' site, she does this all the time. But I did 32 count, 1/1 tent stitch. I've never done tent stitch. I've never done a full coverage in 32 count. And I did not write down how many stitches I did or anything on this one. Hold on. Completely forgot to write down any stats on my new stats. I am so sorry. It has been so long since I've done this. Bear with me just 1 second. All right, I did 656 stitches out of 90,000, and it's at 0.73% complete. And again, 32 count tent stitch. Where am I? All right. And with 32 count, look at how small this is. And I do have some pocket threads on this one, but this is where I'm at. It's a teeny tiny start, just at up a little corner, but I flew through it with it being 10 stitch, and it's so tiny. So absolutely adorable. But like I said, it's up in this kind of like mishmash corner, so you really can't make out a lot. I can't wait to someday get into that face. I mean, that does again require me to start stitching on more than one project, but it's started. You know, that's the biggest battle, is starting it. Then after starting that, we also had a birthday start for me. And so Lacey, the Sleepy Stitcher, and Leanne, Small Town Stitches, they all started with me. The Magical Forest Lights by Fantasy Digital, and this is another Stitches So Beautiful design. This one was, I think, January when you were on her Facebook group and you did the showing every week. It will eventually make it to her website, but it's not there now. You had to participate on her Facebook group to get this one. But this was my birthday start. And again, I did 32 count tent stitch. I wanted to have more than one project going on that, so that you're not constantly having to wrap your brain around it every single time. And this is, whoops, again, no statistics because it was a new one. Hold on. I did 768 stitches out of 160,000 for 0.48% complete. And this is where I am at on this one. I don't know if you can tell, there are quite a few colors in there. But for 1/1 10 stitch, I don't think the coverage is that bad. So that is where I am at on that one. And because I've started so many things, I've run out of bags, so I am just using some Amazon bags right here. All right, almost done. Only a couple more projects to go. So, keeping up with the stamp cross stitch, I had designed, and it wasn't meant to be a cross stitch when I designed it. I just designed something. When AI first came out, my son was all excited about it, and he made me try to start designing things. So I had designed this, and it had just been in my phone forever. And so I sent this over to Sandy at WaterBiz. She did a custom stamped for me. And this is what I had designed. And I was so excited to actually be able to stitch it up. And I did this one on, I think this one's actually, oh, yeah, it's right here in my hand, 14 count. So I didn't realize I could do 16 count at the time, so I got this one on 14 count. And I went straight to the face again because if the face doesn't look good, then, oh, I got some hanging threads when I stop this. Let me just move the hanging threads out of the way. But this is where we are at with that. So really excited. And 14 count's not that bad because all of my mirrors, my memorabilias are in 14 count or 28 count. So it is a little weird to get used to the bigger stitching, but look at how that is coming out. I'm so excited. Never thought I'd be able to stitch her up, but I've really enjoyed that. And the fun thing about stamped is you can go wherever. You're not limited like with the counted that if you go over too far, you're gonna lose your place. And another thing I like about Lotto Biz is everything came with it, even the hoop. So I got the design, the hoop, all the floss, 18 needles, thread snips, needle finger thingies that I don't use, wax. There's just so much stuff that came in this kit. I was surprised. So there's that one. All right, and then the last thing I've been working on, which has taken, sorry, I'll be crinkling. You get to see it. I know a lot of people hide their stuff. I just can't. I don't have enough space to hide my stuff off the screen. You're gonna have to see my piles. The thing I've been monogamous with lately, it is another stamped one, but it's a stitch along that's been going on. And I made this bag for it. This is Dragon Eyes. And so this is the Dragon Eye stitch along. See that? And if you get this done in a year, I'm not going to get done in a year because again, I went with 16 count. If you went with 11 count, maybe you had a chance of getting it done in a year, but I went with 16 count. So it's way too many stitches for me to get done in a year. But if you got it done in a year, you got to go in for a drawing for a max color kit from her. But so that is the Dragon Eye. And I did put this one right into Markup XP when I started. So I do know that I have done 9,368 stitches and I'm at 10.58% complete on this. And I have had having so much fun stitching on it. I have had such a hard time putting it down. I am at two different spots because what I did on this one is I went straight to the center. I wanted to kind of see how that eye turned out before I invested more time in this. And then after I kind of got a feel for that I liked where the eye was going, I went up to my top left-hand corner and have just been plugging away at that. So I apologize for the wrinkles, but there is no way I am going to iron a stamped cross stitch and risk any steam or anything from my iron wrecking my lines. And again, these are the hoops that come with it. And I have been using everything that comes with it. The only thing I haven't been using that's in the kit that I've been using on my own is my snips. I'm not going to keep taking the snips out of the kit. So let me just somewhat. So I'll show you the whole thing first. And again, it is super wrinkled. I am so sorry about that. So there's the whole thing. And then here's the center section that I've been working on. See if I can straighten it out a little bit. Here is the center. So I just worked on this, well, no, I guess a little bit more than a little bit, but I started with this, and then once I was happy with it, I moved up to my left-hand corner. So I'm not going to come back to the center probably until I actually reach it. But look at that. And then once I was happy with that, I moved up to the left-hand corner, which is where I'm at now. I'm just plugging away. I wanted to get so much done this weekend. I thought I actually had a weekend where I could just get tons of stitching in. And it's just amazing how your day just gets away from you. So this is where I am at. So I'll just keep kind of going, filling in my hoop on this. So I've had a lot of fun. And I keep saying I'm gonna come home and work on something else, but I'm just so tired when I get home. It's just so easy to pick this up, just having the stamped right there. And like I said, I do have it in Markup XP. Every once in a while I look at it, but I don't have to look at it for the most part. The stamping's really good, even though this is 16 count, which again, stamped cross stitch is typically 11 count, I think. Some people even go as small as 9, but so really excited with how that's gonna go. And I do have, she does a monthly auction, and I did go take a peek at the auction. I shouldn't have, but I did, and I've got 3 more patterns coming my way again. So that is what's taken up most of my time. That's all the stitching I did. I do have a new start planned for this month though. So Lacey and Leanne and I are starting on Memorial Day weekend, a Shannon Christine design, Home of the Free Because of the Brave. So we will be starting this. So I will stray a little bit from my monogamous stitching to start this. We'll see how much I get done before I feel like I need to go back to that, but we're gonna start that. I did, after I bought the paper chart, Leanne mentioned that you can go on to Shannon Christine's Designs and buy the PDF, and I did buy it, although it doesn't look like I downloaded it, so I'll have to go see where it went to when I bought it, so that you can also have it on Pattern Keeper. So there's that. I got a little bit of Stitchy Kindness for my birthday. So Lacey from the Sleepy Stitcher got me, let's see, a Heaven and Earth Designs pattern, Catty Cat, artwork by Leah Roche. So she got me this. Not sure when I'm going to start it yet, but I absolutely love this. It's been on my wish list for quite a while. And then Leanne got me a gift card to 123 Stitch, which is going to be used, I think, to buy Sugar Plum Village by Shannon Christine Designs that Lacey and I are supposed to start. I can't remember when we're supposed to start it. She may be starting it before me because she already has it. So I can't remember if she's doing a Christmas in July start or, but I will probably be more towards Christmas time, depending on how my Stitchy Bug goes. So that is it for all the stitching. If you were here for the stitching, thank you so much. It was great seeing you again. So sorry it's been so long. I hope to come back sooner, but we'll see. If I'm monogamous stitching, nobody's gonna want me to show up just to show them one project. So we'll see how it goes. If you're here for the life updates, we're gonna get into that next. I'm gonna try to fly through them. It's obviously, again, been a few months. I've had some ups, I've had some downs. One of my ups was I went to my best friend's wedding in, is it South Carolina, North Carolina? Somewhere warm. We left Maine and we were nice and warm for a few days, which was nice. It was beautiful watching her get married. I was so excited. We had a lot of fun with that. We did drive there. I don't like planes. I haven't been on a plane in 10 years. That is about to change in a couple of days. I'm extremely nervous about that. Actually, it's been about 15 years since I've been on an airplane. I won't even go into the story on what happened the last time I was on a plane because I did not mind flying at all until my last flight. And then I haven't flown since, and it was a horrible flight. But I'm gonna go this weekend to watch my daughter graduate. She graduates in Miami. She is officially a veterinarian, and it's weird to see the doctor in front of my daughter's name. So she's already started working. She actually graduated a few months ago and started working, but this is the actual graduation ceremony. So we're gonna fly to Miami and see that happen this weekend. So really excited about that. I'm going to, once we get off, I'm going to cook some bagels. I took a bagel making class and the bagels were all started last night. The dough was done. The bagels are shaped. They're in the fridge doing a cold rise. And I am going to boil them and bake them. So we learned the correct way to make bagels with the whole boiling and everything. I am going to do that. Some not so happy news is I know the last time I did a video, I had mentioned about my dog Charlie passing away. We kind of knew when we brought him to the vets, well, we knew when we brought him to the vets that we were bringing him to be euthanized. I'm not going to get into that again. But since then, my cat Bella has passed away, and that one was completely unexpected. I didn't even go to the vets. I had my son take her to the vets because I just thought they were going to tell us she's older, she's got a thyroid issue, and that she was going to be on medicine, and we were going to have to deal with the medicine. And I got a emergency call from my son. Luckily, the emergency vet they sent him to didn't have what they said she needed, so they had to send him to get another emergency vet. I feel so bad he did this on his own, but luckily the emergency vet that they sent him to was 3 minutes down the road from my work. And my work, well, it's hard work, it's a lot of work, 6 days a week in the winter. It's also a place where I threw my phone down and said, I gotta go, and ran out the door. No questions asked. They don't. Like, if you say you gotta go, you gotta go. They're not where you're going, what you're doing, how long you're gonna be gone. They just looked at me and said, okay, and I was gone as long as I needed to be. I got to get to my son in time for it, so it was hard, and it was just the two of us because, you know, other kid was in school, husband was at work, so it was just my son and I, and it was my son and my cat anyways. But that was unexpected, and that was a couple of days before my birthday. So that was on a Friday. My birthday was on a Monday. So then when we brought him home and we buried her, as we were burying her, I started to not feel good. I felt like I pulled a muscle down my side, which was weird. And yes, even though I do work out, I hadn't worked out that day. Couldn't figure out why I was in so much pain. And then by Sunday, like, my entire left side had gone numb. And at that point, I told my husband we needed to go to the hospital because, you know, when your left face is numb and your left arm is numb, it can be a sign of something worse. It wasn't a stroke. It wasn't a heart attack. I was really lucky about that. But I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy. I am lucky that I don't have the drooping, so you can't look at me and see that anything's wrong, but I can feel it. I can feel just my entire left side is tingly. If I do too much for too long, it gets worse by the end of the day. That's why I only did one day at the library stitch retreat. I just knew I couldn't stitch all day, 2 days. I didn't even make it the entire night, the night that I went. I ended up leaving a couple of hours early. It's very weird feeling. And without the droopiness, nobody really knows I have it. So when I start to feel uncomfortable, nobody really knows. And it's like, you're not going to explain. It's kind of like one of those inner things. Like, if you have a broken arm, somebody knows you have a broken arm. You have a pulled muscle, nobody knows you have a pulled muscle. So it's something I'm just dealing with. There's nothing I can do for it. It will go away on its own. They said anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months. It's been not quite a month. It's a lot better than it was. Sometimes I even almost forget I have it, but then I move just right and I can feel it. But it's so much better than, like, it could have been a stroke, it could have been a heart attack, it could have been something lots of other people have. So I'm thankful it was something that's going to just take care of itself. And then I'm just going to end on a good note with, you saw our kitten Romo. We got Romo. Now I know some people would be like, you got a kitten already, but no, I didn't get a kitten already. My stepson moved in with us full-time probably about a year ago. You know, up till then, it was the every weekend thing. But about a year ago, he decided he wanted this to be his home base, and he has lived with us full-time since then. And my husband's allergic to cats. So we have 2 hypoallergenic Himalayan cats. We had 2 hypoallergenic Himalayan cats. And my oldest son was thinking about moving out. So I kept telling my stepson, when my son moves out, he would be taking Bella with him. That would bring us down to 1 cat, and that we could get him a kitten. So I have been promising this boy a kitten forever. Me, because my husband's like, no, we don't need any more animals. And I'm like, all of my kids have had animals. He's going to have an animal. We're going to go with the hypoallergenic route. That's why we went with a rag doll. Up until my husband, we went to like the animal shelter down the street, and we would get animals there. But with him, I can't bring an animal to the house that I'd have to give away because of his allergies. So when Bella passed away, I needed time. I couldn't bring another animal to the house, but at the same time, it's not my stepson's fault that Bella left the house being euthanized and not moving out with my son. And I mean, this is a 15-year-old kid who I promised that when we were down to one cat, he would be able to get a cat. And as hard as it is to bring another animal to the house, I wasn't going to break my promise. So we actually ended up getting him the rag doll because he really wanted a cuddly cat that you could hold and play with. And my other stepson has a tuxedo cat that he absolutely adores. So we wanted a cat that played like a tuxedo cat, but was as hypoallergenic as we could get it, because you can't get it perfectly hypoallergenic. I mean, if you're allergic to cats, you're allergic to cats. So I was researching, and everything I read said ragdoll. It's got the fur that we need. It's got the playfulness that he needs. And as hard as it is to bring a kitten in the house, that kitten has brought us so much joy. He's so playful, yet he's so snuggly. So he will run around and play like there's no tomorrow because he's a kitten, and then he'll climb up on you, and you can just hold him and snuggle him. And we made sure that my stepson's room was home base. He's actually, because he's still a tiny kitten and we do have bigger animals, he's in that room unless somebody's watching him amongst the rest of the house, which is why I babysat yesterday, because he did actually go to his mother's house yesterday for a while, for, like an early Mother's Day. So I got to babysit and see him, but he is the sweetest thing. I'm so glad I did it. Just the change in my stepson's disposition, having this little kitten, and his name is Romo, after Tony Romo for the Dallas Cowboys, because we are a Dallas family. So you got to see him, and like I said, he's brought so much joy. I do need to get this wrapped up. I can't believe how long I've talked on so few projects, but I have some bagels to make for my husband. I'm attempting jalapeno bagels, so I won't even be able to try them to see if they're good. I'm just going to hope they're good, and we'll see how those come out. But hopefully I will see you again soon. I'm not going to give you a date, like 2 weeks or something, because I just don't know what my stitching is going to be. Oh yeah, and like I said, I was working on my health. So working on my health means just, cross stitching is sedentary, right? We sit when we cross stitch. It's not like when I go golfing with my husband or we go hiking. When you're cross stitching, you're sitting. And up until a little over a year ago, I always had a job where I was up and about. I did construction inspections for 23 years, climbing foundations, climbing up roofs, climbing up ladders. I was on the go all day, and I only sat at night to do reports. And then I worked, I was the front end manager at a grocery store for a few years, and I was averaging about 20,000 steps a day at that job. This new job I have is a desk job, so I am sitting all day. And I've reached the age of menopause. So between sitting all day and menopause, it was taking a toll on me and on my body. And I used to always go to the gym when I was younger. I actually used to teach gym classes when I was younger. I was a spin instructor. And I just can't sit all day at work and then come home and sit all day and cross stitch. So now I get up at 4:15 in the morning at a horrible hour, and I do cardio for an hour before work. It's not a treadmill. I do, it's called FitXR, which I love. It's kind of like kickboxing and HIIT and all kinds of things. If you YouTube it, I know you all have YouTube, and you YouTube FitXR, you can see it, and it's so much fun. Still, it's horrible to get up at 4:15, but getting up at 4:15 in the morning means going to bed at 8:15 at night so that I can toss and turn for a few hours. And I'm also doing weights when I get home 3 times a week. So between get up at 4:15 in the morning, going to bed at 8:15, and then coming home and doing weights 3 times a week, I work a 9.5 to 10 hour day at my job. That leaves just like, if I'm lucky, I get about a half hour of stitching time after I adult and eat dinner and clean and stuff like that. And then some days when I don't stitch at all. So stitching is a lot less than it used to, because I used to get up just in time to go to work, come home, and then stitch all night until it was time to go to bed. So that's cut a little bit into the stitching time, but I want to be stitching for years to come. I want to be able to move my body for years to come. So I just feel like right now I need to work on my health, and I am still getting the stitching in, just not what I used to. So that is it. That's my life update. That's a lot more life updates than I usually give. So I'm going to get off. I'm going to make my bagels. I am going to get some stitchy time in because it's the weekend. And I'm going to relax for the rest of the day. And hopefully I don't have to adult at all today. And I will see you next time. Until then, happy crafting.